Hey, this is Greg from the Gamma Ray Society, and we are going to open a pre-release kit from Star Wars Unlimited Shadows of the Galaxy. Let's see what we can get. All right, I've heard a lot of good things about this. Just had a bunch of friends. Actually, Nick and Johnson actually went to a pre-release event, did pretty good. Let's see what we got in here. We have all the standard things, the deck box, the card separator. I really like that. That's really cool. The rules, the token kit, and of course we have our packs. So let's see here. There should also be the promo card, which I have right here. So here are what I will be opening. Let's start with this. I think it's the same in every pack, but the Shiny Moff Gideon and the Mandalorian, both really cool. I'm going to put those right there. Let's see what we get for our first pack. All right. All right, we have Gar Saxon as our leader and Remote Village for our base. We'll go through a lot of different commons. One of the things that I will be doing at the end of this is that I will actually be trying to build my pre-release deck from these packs. And you guys can comment on them, see if I did a good job. If I didn't do a good job, what I could do to improve. So the uncommons is This Is the Way, Concord Dawn Interceptors, Unlicensed Headhunters. That looks pretty good. And my rare is First Light. Ooh, that looks good. Grit. Each other friendly non-leader unit gains grit. I like the grit mechanic. I couldn't really make it work in the first set. I really hope I'll be able to make it work with this. This might be able to help me do that. And then a Privateer Sick. I would assume it's sick. Like sickle, only sick. All right. Boom, Kylo Ren as my leader. Okay, that's fine. A Navarro City hyper space. That's real good. A bunch of commons. No hyperspace. That's all right. Lady Proxima. L337. Remnant Reserves. And my rare is Ruthlessness. And my common is Take Captive. All right, I'll be able to work with that, I think. Pack number 3. Let's see what I get as a showcase leader. Oh my goodness, I got a Hyperspace Bosk. That is pretty cool. I like that a lot. Let's see what else I got. Maz Kanata's Castle. Then go through a bunch of commons. Those look pretty good. That's a nice hyperspace. Protector of the Throne. Hunter of Hexian Brood. And the first uncommon is Dengar. Another L337. Remnant Reserves. Zori Bliss. And then a Mandalorian Warrior Hyperspace Foil. That looks pretty good. That's just a cool looking card, even though it's a common. All right, well, let's see. Hopefully I can get a showcase in these last 3 packs. Let's see what I can get. Jabba the Hutt. All right, well, I'll take that. Remote Village for 30 base points. Let's see, get through the commons real quick. And we have Freetown Backup. Fell the Dragon. I like that a lot. Give Into Your Anger, which is my rare, and a foil rare, Ruthlessness. All right, well, that's pretty good right there. I guess I did get also Enticing Reward, which I blew past on the last uncommon. All right, let's see what this pack brings. I destroyed it. All right, here we go. Cad Bane. Well, I have certainly a good choice of leaders that I can be using. And we go through the commons, and first uncommon is Unexpected Escape. then Bravado, Lurking Tie Phantom, Imprisoned is my rare, and a foil uncommon Remnant Reserves. All right, and now for my last pack for the pre-release kit. Did I get it? No, I did not get it. All right, but Fennec Shand, Deathwatch Hideout. Let's get through the commons. Oh, that's a nice Hyperspace Wanted Insurgents. That's good. And then I get into Bounty Hunter's Quarry. That'll be good if I want to get a bounty. Client, the Client. Cassian Andor. It's one of my favorite characters. And Palpatine's Return is my rare, and a Wanted Insurgents for my commons. All right, so I'm going to stop the video right here, and I'm going to try to resort this, and I'm going to try to make my deck out of these cards. Be right back. Okay, we're back. I've sorted all the cards out. I have the leaders here in front of me. And in order to help me make my deck, I've asked one of our experts at the Intergalactic Card Nerds, Dr. Zeinstein, to help me out. Welcome, Dr. Zeinstein.
Hi, Greg. Glad to be here.
All right, good. All right, so my thought, Dr. Zeinstein, is, one of the things, I really like Jabba the Hutt. I think that that's a really good leader. It does come out on with 7 resources. I like Bosk. I like Kylo Ren. I like Cad Bane. Fennec Shand might be an option. Fennec Shand, but I would need to have a lot of units that cost 4 or less. Moff Gideon is the same kind of problem, but I need units that cost 3 or less. And the Mandalorian and Gar Saxon is mostly depends on how many upgrades I get as I do the analysis with the rest of my cards. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you have some really good options. It kind of depends on the cards that you get, though. Let's see what we got.
I think you're right. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. We're going to separate. I'm going to show you the card pool that I got, and then we can start trying to analyze what might be the best way to, what might be the best 2 leaders that I can start doing to try to narrow down our choices in deck creation. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have all the green cards here in front of me. I also included the green-white and the green-black combinations just to kind of see what I have. And I kind of immediately took out the green-white combinations. There just wasn't enough there.
I think so.
And I'm really now kind of leaning towards if I were to go with green, green-black seems really good. I did pull 3 Remnant Reserves. Depending on what happens here, I think that that's something that I might be able to use to my advantage, although it does cost 4. I do like some of the abilities here. If I am looking at Jabba the Hutt, this Bounty Hunter's Quarry becomes very important. If I'm looking at Bosk, again, I think that this Bounty Hunter's Quarry becomes really important. So, how I want to go, I'm not quite sure. I want to look at some of the other colors in order to figure it out. So I'll move on to Vigilance next, and we'll figure, and I'll be right back. Okay, so in front of me now I have the blue cards, and this actually looks really good. I like what I'm seeing here. The first thing that I notice is, again, there just isn't enough here on the blue-white side to let me go with the heroism, so I think I'm going to just put those aside immediately. But boy, I really like this. I mean, whether I go with Bosk, or whether I go with Cad Bane, or whether I go with Jabba the Hutt, I could add blue, and I'm really beginning to think that I'm going to be using a blue base in whatever way I decide. I mean, I have a lot of good options. I have First Light, which I think will be a very good endgame finisher. I have the Client, which allows me to get a bounty. That would be really important if I have Bosk deployed. I have the Fell the Dragon and Rival's Fall, which I think would be very good in Limited. And I also have this Public Enemy, which allows me to give a shield token to a unit. And shields are really, really important, at least in my opinion, as you go into limited play. So I really like blue. Pretty sure that blue is going to be in my final selection in one way, shape, or form. All right, I will put out the red, and we'll see what kind of options we have with that. All right, Dr. Zeinstein, we'll let you go ahead and tell us about aggression. What's your thoughts?
Well, I don't think it's as good as Command and Vigilance, and I would remove the Aggression Heroic cards. Depending on the leader, you might actually have some good options here.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I think that the aggression paired with black also gives some really good opportunities. I got two of these ruthlessness. It seems like it's pretty good. You get the +2/+0, and when it actually defeats a unit, you can actually do damage to the base. I think there's going to be a lot of units in this limited field, and I think that that's going to be a really good opportunity here. And so I think that there's a lot of good things here with red. Again, if we start looking at the three leaders that we're looking at, I'm not quite sure that red would go with Jabba the Hutt. Might go better with Cad Bane. Might go better with Bosk. But I think that those are things that I got to be thinking about here as we're moving on. Okay, this is the final sets of cards. I think my first thought on this is that I like Restore. I think Restore is a really strong effect in Limited. If I play another Underworld card, I have quite a few Underworld cards no matter what I do, so I might want to be looking at Lady Proxima. Dr. Z, how many Mandalorians did we have up to this point?
Well, of all the aspects available, you only have 7 Mandalorians. But of the aspects that you're considering, you only have 4 or 5. I'm not quite sure you have enough to make a Mandalorian theme.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, the Mandalorian warrior is really good. This is the Way is really good. But if I only have 4 or 5 Mandalorians in the deck, I just don't know if that's something that I can play with. And already I know that I'm not going to be able to play with the heroic side. I look at some of the other cards here. The Shielded could become really important. The Sentinel, I think, is really important on this Black Sun Starfighter. I don't have a lot of Sentinels, so this could be really important, especially in space. I think there's options here, and that'll help me fill out the 30-card deck. All right, so those are the cards. Let's, what do you think, Z? Should we start looking at some of the leaders?
Absolutely. I think you have some really good opportunities here to make a really good deck.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, be right back. Okay, Dr. Z, so I think we can start narrowing down the leaders. So what ones do you think we should start narrowing down first?
I think you can remove Moff Gideon and the Mandalorian. I don't think you have enough cards to support those particular leaders.
Yes.
For the same reason, I think Fennec Shand could be also removed.
I agree.
You do have a lot of units that are 4 or less, and Ambush can be quite powerful in limited formats. But once deployed, Fennec Shand only comes out as a 4/4. I think you have more leaders available that are more powerful once deployed.
Yes, I also think that Kylo Ren and Gar Saxon should also go. Now, leaves us then with these 3. And the reason why we have these Vigilance cards off here to the side is I think that these Vigilance cards really are good. And it allows some removal, the Imprisoned attached to a non-leader unit, and it loses all current abilities, it can't gain abilities. The Fell the Dragon, which just defeats a non-leader unit with 5 or more power. And a Rival's Fall, defeat a unit which could include a leader. That's just really powerful. And the First Light, when I started looking at all the cards that I have, we just don't have a lot of anything that's 4 resources or more. I mean, there's some, but this First Light I really think I think it's the best finisher that I got. Don't you agree?
I think so.
Right. So I think Vigilance has to be the 3rd color in this analysis. And so that leads then, okay, between these 3, we talked about Cunning not being the strongest set that I got or the strongest aspect that I received. So I think we're going to put Cad Bane to the side. And that leaves us with Bosk and Jabba the Hutt. So, I think the best thing for us to do is let's build both of these. How's that sound? Let me just make a quick point. We certainly understand you don't have this much time in a pre-release or even a sealed event to make your deck. But as Dr. Zeinstein has taught me several times, the best way that you get this kind of intuition so you can make these quick decisions during a real-time tournament is to go through some of this analysis, figure out where you're wrong, figure out where you're right. And, as we build Jabba and as we build Bosk, you guys just let me know and let us know where you think we went wrong. We're going to go ahead with this analysis. And then we'll just kind of see what these decks might look like. Might even play a couple dry hands, goldfish a few things, and see how it goes. All right? That sound good, Dr. Z?
I agree.
All right, let's get her done. Okay, Dr. Z, so this is all the legal cards that we have. If we want to go with Jabba the Hutt, with, let's just say, a remote village. We've counted out the cards ahead of time, and the number of cards that we have right now legal is 37. So we need to cut out 7 cards from these piles. And we'll just kind of start with the units first, and then see what kind of events we might want to take off. So we have these 3 cards that I already said earlier, 2 events and an upgrade that we definitely want to try to keep because this gives us removal, and I think that's so important in a limited game. Then we go to our ground units, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 ground units. I have Pike Sentinel and Mercenary Company primarily because this has Overwhelm, and Pike Sentinel has Sentinel, and Sentinel I think is really, really important. So I want to try to keep those in for sure. Then if we start going from the lowest to the highest resource count, we have this Hyloban Enforcer. It has a bounty. I'd kind of like to put this aside for the moment. I don't like that idea of having a bounty and giving an opponent a card. By the same token, I don't think it's that bad of a bounty, so it might not be a bad 1-drop. I like this Lady Proxima in this deck already. I think we're going to be having a lot of Underworld cards, and I think that this would be a great way to get started and start dealing damage to a base right away. So we're going to keep Lady Proxima in. Mandalorian Warrior, I'm going to put aside for the moment just because we don't have a lot of Mandalorians. The Hutt's Henchman, I think, is good because it's shielded. I think the Client is a really good card in this, especially it comes in shielded, and if there's somebody I can pick off and heal 5 damage from my base, I think that's really good. The Wookiee, Roshier Tree Tender, I think is a really good card. And then Follower of the Way. We don't have a lot of Mandalorians. If it's upgraded, it's +1/+1. I think it's fine just to get something out there on the ground. Street Gang Recruiter. Again, it's got an underworld theme, so I think that's good. Warbird Storeway, Reputable Hunter, Gamorrean Retainer. This gets Sentinel if I have another green. I think we're going to have enough green. We certainly have green in our leader. So, I think there's opportunities here to get that to be a Sentinel. So I think these ground units are actually pretty good. So what does that leave me with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Plus the 3, so that's 14. Let's go to our space. I have this off to the side just because it's Sentinel, so I really want to keep that. We have this Outland TIE Vanguard to give an experience to another unit that costs 3 or less. We have quite a few of those in this deck, so I think that works pretty good. The Collector Starhopper with the Smuggle mechanic, it's a 2/2 for 2. It's all right, I think. We need some things in space. The Outlaw Corona, again, I'm not very big on the bounty, but by the same token, I think it's a 3/5 in space. By the time it gets destroyed, hopefully, when the opponent plays a resource, it's not that big of a deal. I like this Twin Pod Cloud Car with the Restore, and of course, our First Light, which is why we're going to blue in the first place as a good finisher. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I need another 7 units, or 7 cards, excuse me, from this. I think we could take away some of these right now. The Foundling, I think, can be removed. The Bounty Hunter's Quarry. That's actually a pretty good card for 1. I'm going to keep both of these bounties here just to keep them there. just to kind of see the remnants, reserves. Again, I'm going to keep these off to the side. Let's see what else I want to keep here first. Let's go from lowest to highest. Attack with 2 units, I think that would be good, so we're going to keep that. The timely intervention, play a unit from your hand, give it ambush for this phase. Ambush can be a pretty powerful mechanic, so we're going to keep that. Exhaust a unit, and you can rescue a captured unit. I think that'll be good. Heal 2 damage from a unit and give an experience token. We're going to put that off to a side just for a little bit. I don't like discards, discarding cards from hand. I just don't like that way that it plays, so I'm going to put that off to the side. Capturing a unit, I think that's really good. +4/+4 for a phase, I think is really good. And play a unit from your discard pile. It costs 6 or less. I don't think I have a force unit in here. So, but still, that 6 or less is still really good from the discard pile. So we're going to keep those in there. So how much does that make me have? I lost track. I'm just going to do a quick count. 27. So 27. And, you know, let's keep these 2 bounties in here. And then let's do one of these remnant reserves, and I think that will pretty much finish off the deck. Okay, Dr. Z, we've shuffled up, and let's see how this plays. How's that sound?
I'm not sure you have the kind of finishers that you would like to have, but, let's see how this plays.
All right, so I'm going to take off, and we're just going to show these here. We'll take off the top 6 cards from the deck, and we'll see what we get. Okay, there's some pretty good opportunities here. I think what I might want to do, if I look at this, I'll probably want to resource the 2 smuggles. And I'm probably going to keep these in my hand. And I think my first play is I'm probably just going to resource 1 and put out Lady Proxima. And if I draw 2 more, I get attack with 2 units and a Hut's Henchman. I think what I would like to do at that point, I would probably resource the attack, the outflank. I would think I would ready this. Hopefully I got the initiative, or if I don't, I would hope that it would stay alive because it does have 4 toughness. And what I would want to do then is I would probably tap 1 to do the timely intervention, play a unit from my hand, give it ambush this phase, and I would probably tap the 2 to put out the Outlaw Tie Vanguard. I think at that point, it would give an experience token to another unit that costs 3 or less. So I would give an experience token to Lady Proxima. And whenever I play another Underworld card, which this is not an Underworld card, that's too bad, but at least I will have something then that I'd be able to attack for 1 damage here. I could even, and I would probably go ahead and attack with Lady Proxima with that. And what I might have wanted to do before I played Timely Intervention, if there was a unit that I could defeat with 1 toughness, I would probably want to tap Jabba to give that bounty. The next unit I play this phase would cost 1 less. If there was something out there, and I might have been able to do something with that. All right, that's probably the first 2 turns. I feel pretty good with Jabba the Hutt. I think that I'd be able to get to the 7 resources. I have enough protection, I think. Let's try it again and see what would happen. All right, so here's we've shuffled up. Here's the first 6 cards. Okay, so how would I want to do this? Well, I like this, and I like the Sentinel. I don't have any smuggle, so that's unfortunate. Um, that might be interesting. This would be a good first turn play. And do I have something that I can upgrade it? Yeah, but it would be my own bounty. So I think the two that I would want to do would be these two. And I don't have a great first turn play. So I think what I would do in this particular case, so I could take a mulligan, or the other thing I could do is just take the initiative right away and go for a turn 3. Let's see what 2 cards I would get. I would get an outflank, and I'd get an outline tie. So I think what I could do then is I would probably resource this outflank, and I would probably, looks like I got a lot of space options. I'll probably want to save the Sentinel till later, and I'd probably just throw out the twin pod cloud car. I know it has restore, and I probably don't have any damage on my base yet, but at least it's out there. I don't have to attack with it, but at least I get a presence out there in space. And then for my next turn, I might be able to give it an experience token, or whatever the next 2 cards might be. Pike Sentinel, which is my other Sentinel, and that. So, I think that this is a good deck and pretty good. I feel pretty comfortable that I'd be able to survive based on whatever the competitor is doing. And yeah, I think Jabba looks pretty good. Let's see how Bosk looks. Okay, so now we have Bosk out, and I've taken out all the command cards. I've put in the aggression cards. So pretty much anything that was black and blue, or vigilance and villainy, would be pretty much the same. All my non-aspect cards are pretty much the same, although let's go through that real quick. I still like Lady Proxima in there. I think that can really do a lot of good damage. I still don't like this Hylabin Enforcer. I don't like the idea of giving the opponent some card draw, especially early on in the game. I do like Dengar. I don't think I have a lot of upgrades, but I do think that Dengar would be a good early drop that I would be able to do. The House Cast Soldier, the Follower of the Way, I think those are all good things. Not great, but things I got to keep. The Client and Pike Sentinel are definite keepers, as well as Rocher Tree Tender. The Mandalorian Warrior, there are a little bit more Mandalorians in here, so I'm going to keep it in for right now, just because I think I'm going to need I'm going to need it in order to get to the 30. The Death Watch Loyalist, I think this could be really good with the Grit and Overwhelm. I am going to take out the Wanted Insurgents. I don't like the idea of getting this defeated and then having another one of my units defeated by getting 2 damage to another unit. So I'm going to take that out of my deck. And I'm still going to keep in the Hutt's Henchman, the Street Gang Recruiter, as I did last time. And I'm going to keep the Covetous Rivals. It has this grit, and I can deal 2 damage to a unit with a bounty. So if I am able to get that bounty and Bosk's ability, especially if he's in play, Bosk is able to, at least 1 time per turn, collect a bounty. I can collect it a 2nd time. So, trying to give that opponent bounties is going to be really important. Don't you think, Dr. Z?
With Bosk, bounties really is the name of the game, so I absolutely agree with you, Greg.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So now we get into space, and, we're going to keep the twin pod cloud cars. We're going to keep the Black Sun Starfighter and the First Light. We're going to be adding the unlicensed Headhunter. I'm sorry, we're not going to be adding this. I think healing 2 damage from the base is just, again, too much, and it's only got 2 damage. You put this out there, and it gets exhausted either by attacking or with something that your competitor does in terms of exhausting it. All of a sudden, 5 damage in a limited game, that can really swing things really hard. So I'm going to take that out of this and keep in the Rokai gunship. It's only a 2-1, but maybe, I could get that 1 damage into their base when it's defeated. So I think that's pretty good. All right, so in terms of units here, let's count this up real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. All right, not as many units here in this setup. I took out a lot of the units with the bounty. So 17, that might be an issue. But let's kind of look at the events that I have. A desperate attack, that I'm going to put that off to a side right now. Daring raid will keep. Give in to your anger will also keep. I think that could be a good removal. I think these vigilance cards and the villainy cards that we had in before would also be good. Pillage, I spend 4 to discard 2 cards from their hand. Next turn they get 2 cards back. I'm going to take that out of the deck. Rival's Fall I'm going to keep in. Bravado, if I've defeated an enemy unit this phase, it costs 2 less to play and I can ready a unit, so I think that could be a really good opportunity to play. The other thing that I thought about is there were some low aspect bounties. So I think I'm going to pull those in from the Cunning. This one and the Wanted, I'm going to bring those in as well. This is a 2 cost and a 3 cost. In order to get it twice with Bosk, that just might be worth it. So I'm going to add those 2 also into these additional upgrades. The Public Enemy, that is going to be good because that has the bounty and I'd be able to get that twice. The Foundling, I don't think I need this as much, so I'm going to take that one out. I will keep the 2 Ruthlessnesses. I will keep the Imprisoned, and I will keep the Death Mark as well too. So let's see what I'm counting this up to as. So I had 17 there, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. All right, so I got to take 2 out. I think what I would do is I'd probably take out one of the Ruthlessnesses, and I would probably take out the Give In to Your Anger. I think that's a little more situational. I think, when I want to do 2 damage to a base, I want to do 2 damage, I want to defeat a unit. Now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get rid of this No Bargain. I'm going to keep in the Give In to Your Anger, and I think that makes the most sense. So get these out, and I think this is pretty good. So let's give this one final count, and then we'll go ahead and we'll play. All right, so I've shuffled up the deck that I made for Bosk, and let's see the first 6 cards. Let's see how this plays. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, well, that, I have a good first turn here. I don't have any smuggles, so I don't know. I'd like to have this later in the game. I don't know if I need 2 6-drops. So I think I'm going to resource this one, and I will probably resource the Twin Cloud Car, keeping these 2 for later. And I would probably, for my first turn, I would probably tap these 2 and bring out the House Cast Soldier, which is a good 2/3. Let's see what I get on the drawing 2. I don't have a good upgrade, so I'll probably resource this. And I would be able to either bring out the Mandalorian. I don't really want to do... Oh, no, look at that. I would probably bring out the Mandalorian and give House Cast Soldier an experience token, right? And then that would be able to hopefully go in for a 3. So Yeah, I could also remember Bosk's ability. I can deal 1 damage to a unit with a bounty, so if they're playing bounties, I think I might be able to take advantage of that. All right, that was actually a pretty good first turn play. Let's see what happens again. I'll shuffle it up and we'll give her another go. Okay, so I've all shuffled up and we're ready to go. Let's see what this would look like a second time. Let's see if I can get just as good a result. That wanted looks really good. Come on, give me a 1-drop. Give me a first turn play. I don't have a first turn play, but I really like that wanted. Boy, do I mulligan this? Well, yeah, what do you think, Dr. Z?
Running the probabilities, I think you should mulligan.
Yeah, I think we might be able to get a better... Not having that first turn, I think, would be a real problem. All right, were we good to mulligan? Let's see if we made the right choice. There's a Mandalorian warrior. At least there's a turn 1. I got some pretty good turn. I still got the wanteds. Oh, my goodness. Yes, I think that this is actually a really smart move for me to do. I'll probably resource this, and I'd probably resource the imprisoned. I think this is really kind of amazing on how it starts. I would probably, don't you think I would do this? I would probably just bring out both. I would bring out Lady Proxima first, and then in my next turn, bring out Dengar doing 1 damage to the base. Yeah, and then let's see what I get for the next turn. Ooh, I get my first light. Do I really... I guess the first light does have a smuggle cost. I suppose I'd also want to look at what did the opponent do on that first turn. I would probably do this. I would probably go ahead and resource the first light because I won't be able to play that for a while. And I would probably, gosh, do I empty the hand? Probably not empty the hand, but I probably would go ahead and attach something to get to something for the public enemy. So the attached unit would gain bounty, give a shield token to a unit. Ideally, if I pick the right one, when you play an upgrade on a unit, I deal 1 damage with Dengar. I would deal another damage with Bosk. That should kill it, and I'd probably give the shield token to Lady Proxima. And hopefully, the next set of draws, I'd be able to get something good. Yeah, I think that at this point now I'm cooking with gas. I'll probably put this twin pod cloud car out, and yeah, I think I'm competitive. So, I think that both decks are good, but in the end, gosh, I just think that Jabba, when Jabba comes out, I'm going to pull out these leaders here real quick. When Jabba comes out, that 212, I just keep looking at that 212, and, I know that we're really trying, we made the Bosk deck to try to get that bounty collected twice, but I don't know, Dr. Z, I just think that 212, that just seems like so big. And, and then while Jabba's out there, you get your discount on units. You can pretty much put anything out in your hand. I just really, and I keep forgetting when deployed, another friendly unit captures an enemy non-leader unit. So you have, you really have a lot of opportunities. I would probably go with the Jabba the Hutt build as opposed to the Bosk build. I might regret that, but that would be what I would be recommending for at least this particular card pool. So that's it. How do you feel, Dr. Z?
I think we have analyzed the problem sufficiently, and we have come up with a very optimal solution.
Yeah, I'm real happy, and I think that Jabba the Hutt is, given this card pool, probably the best that we would be able to do. But if you don't agree with us, be sure that you make a comment. Let us know where you think that we might have gone wrong. Be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. I think that that's going to be real important as we continue to make content for you. We love doing this. Dr. Zeinstein loves doing this.
Indubitably.
Be sure to hit those like and subscribes. All right, thank you very much for watching, and may the cards be with you.